CAN-SPAM New User Training Wiki has materials to build your knowledge of that federal law and how it pertains to you as a communicator of the university. We've highlighted portions of that law that you should be mindful of. And if you want to dig more deeply into those items, we've linked to that resource from the Federal Trade Commission. But some of those items include not using misleading header information or deceptive subject lines. You need to tell recipients where you're located. And one we're probably most familiar with is allowing recipients to opt out of receiving future messages and honoring those requests within 10 business days. So eComm has a lot of built-in mechanisms to assist with those last two items. They work in combination with you as a sender. So you'll learn throughout that marketing cloud training what you need to do and what items you need to select if you're sending a commercial communication where CAN-SPAM laws apply. These practices are not only legal requirements that you must follow. You can actually be fined if you fail to do so. It could be very costly. But they're also just best practices that you would never want to be deceptive with your constituents or misleading with who you are. So this law is really not asking a lot, and it just comes down to respecting your constituents. We've gone ahead and included a one-pager that you can download if useful, just to understand CAN-SPAM a little bit further, and mostly the difference between commercial communications, where the CAN-SPAM law does apply, you need to follow those guidelines, versus transactional communications that actually have no laws governing it. So by definition, commercial communications promote a product or service and make up a majority of CU's communications. And these, again, need to adhere to federal CAN-SPAM laws. Transactional communications are directly related to employment or a transactional relationship and are non-commercial in nature. So they're not promoting a product or a service. And therefore, CAN-SPAM does not apply. We've gone ahead and included examples of both commercial and transactional communications. So on the commercial side, that could be emailed to prospective students, an invite to employees for an event, or promoting athletic tickets. Transactional email examples include an event registration confirmation, a know before you go message, or letting employees know that they are required to take an action. Just reiterating some of those important things to keep in mind that are required by law. We need to provide a clear opportunity to opt out of receiving commercial messages, and they need to be processed within 10 days. And again, the eComm platform has some automation built in that you need to know what to select when sending to make sure that happens correctly, which you will learn throughout that Marketing Cloud New User training. Subject line should indicate the email is commercial, do not be fictitious or misleading. And that goes for all of the from information as well. And you need to include a valid physical postal address. So identifying your department or the school and your unit and where they could get a hold of you. So that is a footer that you as a sender need to add to all of your emails. On the transactional side, where CAN-SPAM laws do not apply, there does not need to be a footer where people opt out, as they're required to receive those messages. While you don't legally need to be transparent in your subject line and from information, you absolutely should be. Same goes for including an address. It's not required, but it is a best practice. Just be very transparent about who you are. Closing that item, I will go ahead and expand this CAN-SPAM violation consequences, which is sending us off to another wiki resource. So you should be well equipped to not violate CAN-SPAM after going through Marketing Cloud training and the associated quiz. But if we ever happen to come across a violation that occurred, we do have protocol in place to reach out to you and correct that action. And typically it is an accident. Someone has their first violation, we let you know, and it doesn't happen again. We will ask you to complete a short quiz just to make sure you understand everything that is at play with making sure we're compliant with CAN-SPAM. But if we ever do have to escalate it, there's protocol for that as well. But we've never seen a third violation, so that's great. Going back to my CAN-SPAM new user training wiki, I'll close that section, but there is a quiz that you can take just to confirm you understand this information.